So like many of y'all, we got a chance to see the Kevin Samuels and Tasha K, I guess say podcast or show or whatever the case may be, and thoroughly impressed. I'm impressed for several reasons. One, Tasha K is a phenomenal interviewer. I believe Tasha K did not hold anything back. I think she was taking a couple jabs here and there, but I think overall, Kevin Samuels was a good sport by even coming on there, not running away from the nonsense, but coming to the person that he knew that the message was going to get pushed out and populated. So salute to Kevin Samuels and to Tasha K for being able to sit down from two different spectrums. Because right now there's this big thing about men and women not being able to sit in the same space and have conversation that matters. And I think that conversation mattered. But enough about that. This is why I decided to do this video, whatever case may be. I am truly disappointed. I am truly disappointed in the people that still have this narrative that they want to push about Kevin Samuels. The reason why I say it is because it's always the person that can't afford the Lamborghini, never been in the Lamborghini, don't got the credit score to purchase a Lamborghini, don't know nobody that drive a Lamborghini, that's talking about the person with the Lamborghini, that's trying to prove that they got it like that, but you have no signs, records, or anything validating that you could be in the Lamborghini. So since you can't prove that you've ever been in a Lamborghini, since you can't prove that you can purchase a Lamborghini, you gotta prove that the person driving the Lamborghini ain't shit. I know y'all following me. I know you following me. Since you don't have the status of Kevin Samuels, since you don't have the platform he has, since you don't dress like Kevin Samuels, since you don't feel like you're refined like Kevin Samuels, right? You don't wear the cologne he wears, the watches he wears. You ain't as tall as Kevin Samuels. So you got to find a way to throw shade at him to make yourself more relevant. That's what I've noticed. Like everybody has the same 1-2 punch that don't like this guy. So let me talk about his mannerisms. Let me talk about how he talks to women. Now it's just this big plight about, oh well, you know, I'm doing this for all the black women. You know, you got men that standing in that gap saying, oh well, he's downgrading black women. First of all, let me tell you something. Kevin Samuels is a YouTube personality. YouTube. You can log off, you can not watch, you can unsubscribe, you can block. There's a lot of things you can do to control Kevin Samuels' message, but for some reason people listen. People want to hear the truth. They want to hear the truth. No matter how much they say they love gossip and drama, no matter how much they subscribe to, let me see who getting doxxed today. You know, they laugh and they joke, they share, they like, they send monetary value. At some point in time, 1 second of the day, they want to say, I want to hear something real. I want to hear some grown-up stuff. And I noticed that a lot of men, there are a lot of women hating on Kevin Samuels, but I just want to address the men right now. And again, this is not a smack around. This is just to say, bro, we got to do better. We got to do better. If you sat there and you listened to that interview, to me, there was nothing about that interview that I need to continue to question about Kevin Samuels. I get it. You grew up with a bunch of women. You have this energy, like, you know what I'm saying? It's not very like, I gotta prove that I'm hard and beat on my chest. I gotta wear a gold chain and gold teeth. I gotta have a do-rag. I gotta put a blunt or a cigarette behind my ear. I gotta smoke trees. I gotta talk about the latest rapper and the latest sneakers that came out. I get it. And if you don't do it, you ain't man enough. You ain't black enough. And that's the problem that we have, especially with men in today's society. We follow so many fads and trends about how we supposed to be as men, which is the reason why it is so easy for women, black women, white women, women to just look at you like, you ain't really got it like that. You ain't really got it like that. Now, unless you a celebrity and you really actually have money like that, you know what I'm saying? Like the Lil Waynes. Lil Wayne can dress like a bum, and it's like, okay, I'm a still flock to Lil Wayne because I know that he has the money like that. So of course he's gonna pull women like that. But I'm just noticing that a lot of the guys that have such an issue with Kevin Samuels, they're not refined, right? They don't have good credit, right? They're not doing the things that they're supposed to do. And it's like when you start pointing a finger and saying, you know, oh, this guy is gay, or this guy is this and this guy is that, and it makes you want to ask, what are you? What are you? You know, I asked a gentleman the other day, I was on his show, and I said, you know, at what point in time do men and women sit down and have a conversation without people feeling the need to throw shot or shade at the conversation? You know what I'm saying? To just sit down and listen. Give it a fair listen, a fair shake. Actually put effort into the conversation and say, you know what? I'm not here to call you names. I'm not here to disrespect you. I'm just here to have a conversation. And I felt like the Kevin Samuels and Tasha K bit, I believe that was just, hey, we're here to have a conversation. Let's set the tone. Let's set the narrative right off the bat. I respect what you do. You respect what I do. Cool, great. Let's have a real down-to-earth conversation. And I just noticed that, you know, there's a lot of people just throwing like this heavy amounts of shade. Shade because they don't like Tasha K. Shade because they don't like Kevin Samuels. Shade because they don't want anybody having a positive conversation. Because they can't do it. Because they're not built like that. They're not built to have a positive conversation. They're built only to drag people and to bring people down. And this is what I'm saying, man. I just noticed that it's nothing positive being said. Like there's no, you got a point there. You know what I'm saying? You're right. I agree. Everything's bad. Everything, you know, I was sitting and I was listening to this one YouTuber or whatever case may be, and I was noticing how he made sure that he said everything that he knew the women on his platform would agree with. Talked about Kevin Samuels being a cheerleader, talked about Kevin Samuels' mannerisms, talked about where he came from in regards to the manosphere, talked about him being divorced, talked about his sexuality. I mean, it was just everything he could possibly say. Not one time did he say Kevin Samuels was spot on about this particular thing. And I can't trust people or respect people that don't give people certain amounts of credit. You understand what I'm saying? You got to give people certain amounts of credit. Because if you're putting in the work, if I sit here and I have an hour-long conversation, it is a possibility that 5 minutes of what I'm saying may be credible. 5 minutes of what I'm saying may be truthful. 5 minutes of what I'm saying may resonate with someone across the world that hears this message. I'm saying stop being jealous, bro. It is not a good look. And I understand that a lot of people, they really don't have a real issue with Kevin Samuels. They're just doing it for ratings. They're just doing it for views. I get it. To get new subs. I get it. But it's a bad look. It's a bad look to have anything anywhere on social media that predicates you have such an issue with a man because he is more popular than you. Not because you really have an issue, but just because he's more popular than you. Because he wears suits and you don't. Because he got credit and you don't. Because he has status and you don't. And it's easy to see that. Because my thought process is, if I have an issue with Kevin Samuels, I'm going to say things like, I don't agree with this particular talking point. If you're saying the talk, if you're doing something in reference to that's not manly, again, that has, you know what I'm saying? Like, because you don't understand that some people have mannerisms that are just natural mannerisms. Like say if I sit like this, right? Say if I sit like this or something like that, somebody might say, well, that's not how men sit. You know what I'm saying? Men don't sit like that. Okay, cool. But is my message, does my message matter? And what is what I'm saying computing? And I think the issue is that a lot of men, it's just a lot of hate. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's just a lot of hate. And it's like, I'm trying to debate if it's real or not. Or is it just for views? Is it just for likes? Is it just for subs? If you don't like Kevin Samuels, hey, y'all come over here. And then when you sit down and say, okay, well, obviously you have some valid points that you want to make, because, you don't like them. Cool. All right. You know what I'm saying? Let me see why you don't like them. And then when you sit down and you listen to why you don't like them, the things that you point out only showcase that you're jealous. It only showcases that you're jealous. It only showcases that you're childish. It only showcases that you don't feel that the people that respect Kevin Samuels will respect you. Somebody had to say it, bro. I'm just saying. You don't feel like that. You don't feel like your message would be important mainstream. So you got to hide in the little sector that you hide in. You got to hide behind whatever little wall that you hide in, because a lot of people that hate them, they don't show their face. You got to hide and throw all of these shots from behind your wall, from inside your sector. Kevin Samuels is this. Kevin Samuels is that. But never Kevin Samuels has a point from time to time. Or he has a point, period. I listened to the Tasha K and Kevin Samuels interview, and I felt like when you have a man saying that black men and black women need to work together, black men and black women need to humble themselves and build themselves, but they need to communicate nonetheless. I don't understand why somebody would be mad at that. I don't get that point of view. I don't understand why somebody would say, oh, but he gay. Oh, but he was a cheerleader. Oh, but this. Oh, but that. It's like, bro, like, what do you want? What do you want? Because anything you feel Kevin Samuels is not doing, you should do. But when you go on your platform, what you do is you spew hatred. You spew division. You spew negativity and drama and gossip, and you do it all in the name for someone to like you, but it's no realism there. When I talk to you and you're so passionate, Kevin Samuels gay, Kevin Samuels is gay. And this is like, bro, like, you don't know no gay people? Because you agree with someone's comments doesn't make you gay. So you're so homophobic that it's just like, well, he's just gay in the suit. Bro, why you keep pointing out that man's suit? If he has the money, this is crazy to me. It's this whole Lamborghini analogy for me. I'm telling you, I can't afford it, so I'm going to hate on it. No one wants to put me in their Lamborghini, so I'm going to hate on all the people that can ride in the Lamborghini, all the people that can afford the Lamborghini. You know what I'm saying? Look at what type of glasses he have on. Look what type of watch he have. You have to detail and point out every single thing to say, well, a real man, ain't got to wear no suit. Well, I'm just trying to figure out, what is it, bro? What can somebody explain it to me? What is it really? What is it really? Like, first we was like, we want men, right? We want men. You and I, we want men to have their hygiene up, have their credit up, take care of their kids, be loyal, be providers, be protectors, be role models. We want men to speak a certain type of way, right? Be able to look you in your eye when they're having a conversation, shake your hand, stand upright. We want men to do this. So then when the man does it, we need to now knock what he's doing. Well, you're not no real man. You was a cheerleader in high school. You was on a debate team. Don't no real man, don't no real black man be on a debate team. Bro, let me tell you something. Only jackasses say some stuff like that. only people that are not well refined and not well versed. If you stayed in the hood all your life, you're probably going to have a different perspective and narrative on what a real man is. If you was in the suburbs all your life, you're going to have a different perspective and narrative of what a real man is. If you worked at a Fortune 500 company versus a mom and pop store, there's going to be different levels of how business and conversation goes. You see what I'm saying? So look, this is not a real man. This is a real man right here. It's real. I'm a real man. I'm a real man. Like, come on, bro. Like you got to figure out. Understand that everyone has a different perspective, but the narrative should always be the same. Is the message truthful? Is the message honest? Is the message of some type of realism? And I truly believe that, again, I don't believe that nobody hits it 100% on the head all the time. But if you're saying out of all of Kevin Samuels' conversations, you couldn't find something good out of it, I'm going to be honest with you. There's something wrong with you. I'm going to be honest with you. I've seen some men go to the point where Kevin Samuels, they think Kevin Samuels has taken their talking points. Bruh, oh my God. Listen, let me say something to you, okay? I am surprised that people do not realize that social media works a certain type of way. If something you say resonates, something you say is worth repeating, it's going to be repeated. Now, if I take what you say, and instead of, let's just say how I say it and it's full of curse words. I say it and it's full of hate. I say it and it's full of disrespect. And I say, you know what? Instead of taking all those other attributes that you added, I'm just going to take the meat and potatoes. If the meat and potatoes is, I want to help women. But how I'm going to say it, I got to joke on them first. I got to disrespect them. I got to drag them first. So if I leave the dragging out, if I leave the hate out, if I leave the disrespect out, and I just say, you know what, I want to help women, and that message goes mainstream, you can't be mad. You can't say, oh, he took my message. Well, you should have refined your message. You should have refined your message. And here's the thing, me personally, if I feel like I'm at a level that I've refined myself where I can take my message into an office and say, hey, this is what I'm about. Here, check out my videos. And there's white women, black women, Hispanic women, Chinese women, you know what I'm saying? There's black men, white men. There are all types of people in different nationalities and races sitting in an office. And they say, well, here is Mario J. And Mario J wants to become a famous speaker. And here's his message. You got to ask yourself, can you put your message in front of this multitude of people with numerous background and from numerous races? Will people get behind it? The problem is that people are not refined. There is no level up. There is no common sense factor. People are so stuck on, I'm doing this for views, I'm saying this for subscribers. They didn't realize that their message was one-dimensional. They didn't realize what they were saying. A lot of people who know their worth, let me break this down. Boy, I'm about to piss some people off. A lot of people who understand their value and have respect, not only for themselves and how they carry themselves and how they look on social media, but for their families. Because they realize what they say is important, and grown men carry themselves a different type of way. I don't need to be cussing and going off all the time. I don't need to be disrespecting people all the time. Hey, look, if you need views and subscribers that bad, bruh, damn. You know what I'm saying? Damn. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. The message that you say in Washington, D.C., somebody is saying it in Minnesota. The message that you say in Minnesota, someone is saying it in California. The message that you say in California, somebody is saying it in North Carolina. North Carolina, somebody is saying it in New York. Stop thinking that you are the only one that has a message like yours. You just haven't heard it yet. There are plenty of people that are not on social media, that don't even have social media platforms, that have common sense. Our grandparents. Huh? Our grandparents. When social media wasn't a big thing, guess who was giving advice? Our grandparents. On relationships, on sex, on how to raise your kids and be a parent. On how to get over arguments. On what to bring to the job in regards to a hard day's work. How to carry yourself. This was happening before social media even blossomed like that. We had people in place already. So for you to be thinking I'm the only one with this type of message is naive as hell. It's naive. But I understand the inner workings of social media and how people feel like, okay, well, if I just talk about him, it'll build me up. Some people will say, oh, you clout chasing. Okay. All right. My thought process is this, man. If you're going to clout chase to bring people together, to promote a positive message, and you got to say, well, Kevin Samuels, let me put his name in the title or whatever the case may be. And then when people sit down and listen to your message, what does it do? What does it do? What does it do? How does it resonate with people? Me sitting down trying to look at a Kevin Samuels video and say, well, the light that he uses, that's a gay light, right? The tie that he wears, that's a gay tie. The glasses that he wears, those are gay glasses. You know, the talking points. He stole talking points from me. I've heard a lot of YouTubers say he stole. Bro, if you talk long enough, probably something that you're saying, someone else, or you feel like you've said it at some point in time. But that's not what you advocate for. A lot of people advocate for, let me call you a bunch of names, let me disrespect you, let me drag you. They advocate for that. So when you take someone that says, well, I'm going to take away all of the nonsense and I'm going to actually give you the message. That's the problem. That's the problem. You see what I'm saying? That's the problem. How you decorated your cake, you know what I mean? It's cool. But I'm going to take off your decorations and just take the cake. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to decorate it. I'm just going to say, here is the product. Here is the plain, raw product. I was telling the gentleman that, you know what I'm saying, it's a lot of men who grew up without father figures. And ironically, it's a lot of people who are saying that Kevin Samuels has now become the OG or the father of the manosphere or the father of social media or the father of black men. And I'm like, let me ask you a question. Would Kevin Samuels being the father of whatever you want to say, would it be bad? Because I can think of some worse representation. I'm just saying, I can think of some worse representation. Man, we got to stop spewing hatred. We got to, man. You know what I'm saying? You hear somebody with a message that doesn't talk about how we should hate black women, how we should hate black men, you know, how we should hate America, how we should, like, when you hear someone not saying it's all about hatred, that has to be a check in your block. That has to be a win. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just hoping that someday we can change the narrative. You know what I'm saying? I had a conversation with this guy named Taz Exclusive. You know, and I went on his platform because I really wanted to talk to him about Kevin Samuels, because I know that he says kitten heels, or I think he said kitten heels. And I really wanted to find out what was his concern about Kevin Samuels. Again, bro, I probably on one hand I can count how many videos I've seen in regards to Kevin Samuels, because I don't watch people, because I don't feel like I feel like where I am with my life, I know me enough that I don't need guidance. Like, there are some people that watch him for relationship advice, some people that watch him for I guess to hear what he has to say or whatever. And it's cool. From time to time, hey, I'll listen, I'll tune in. Hey, salute. But I wanted to find out what was Taz's perspective. And he told me his perspective. But like I said before, I got a chance to read the comments, his comment section after the thing was over. Like to really like break it down and see. And I was disappointed. I was disappointed. You had people saying just because you don't disagree with Kevin Samuels like we do, we gonna drag you. And I was just like, and I'm reading the comments, and I'm just like, how are you any better than the manosphere? How are you any better than the womansphere? Like you're saying just because I don't totally agree with what Kevin Samuels says, who he is as a person, then automatically you're an enemy. Automatically what you're saying doesn't matter. It's null and void. Now, I get it. Hey, some people have built the platform on that very thing. They built it on disagreeing with other people, combating other people. You know what I'm saying? Y'all over there, we over here. But, you know, when you are so blind that you can't see that, first of all, anybody that knows me, you know, knows that I'm an advocate for empowerment. I'm an advocate for being optimistic. I'm an advocate for men and women working together. So the fact of the matter is that if you're so blind in hatred, if you're so blind in disrespect, if you're so blind with a narrative, and that just goes to show me that your platform is not a balanced platform. When you have a bunch of people promoting hatred, you know what I'm saying? I never want to be around a bunch of people that's always talking about, I'm about to drag someone. Because 9 times out of 10, the people that's doing the dragging, guess what? They ain't got it like that. They those Lamborghini haters. You know what I'm saying? Now, if all of the people, look, if I pull up in my vehicle, okay, and they pull up in their vehicle, and their vehicle ain't equal or better than mine, then we can't talk. You ain't dragging me nowhere. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't dragging me nowhere. If I walk, if I stand in front of my home and then across the street, I got all y'all homes. If your home ain't bigger than mine, right? If your home don't got more rooms than mine, if your home ain't got a bigger backyard, if you ain't got bigger TVs, then you ain't dragging me nowhere. If we pop open and we go check our credit scores, all 3 credit scores pop up. And if mine say 765, 775 and 700, and yours is saying 425, 463, 521, where you dragging me to? Where you dragging me to? It's the people that do the most hating that don't have what it is that they hating on. Am I talking to somebody? Am I talking to somebody? The people that has the most things to say about how bad somebody else is don't have it like that. They don't have it like that. Well, I don't like you if you like Kevin Samuels. Okay. Okay. But at the end of the day, it's just like, you know what I'm saying? I have an infinity for truth. You know, if you're saying something that makes sense, my thing about it is people don't like when you tell them the truth. They don't like when you tell them the truth. They don't like when they say that you ain't the shit. You know what I'm saying? You ain't the shit all the time. But here's how you could be better. You know, everything that you say don't hit like that. You know, you ain't real like that. A lot of people feel like the more curse words they use, the more, you know, they act like they're so much more manly than the other person, or they act like they got it like that, or they act like they living their best life. And I'll be like, bro, y'all sound sad. And God forbid if they showing their face. You ever look at somebody's background and be like, you ain't got it like that. You ain't got it like that. I can clearly see you overweight. I can clearly see you malnourished. I can clearly see that your hygiene ain't on fleek. I can clearly see how you speak. You can't take this conversation into a boardroom. You can't take this conversation into anywhere that people value themselves, because they're going to turn you on. They're going to turn you off. They're going to turn you off. You're going to say, what? Who is this? A lot of people have been talking on social media for so long that they only can talk a certain type of way. They think everybody talks like that. They think I'm about to read you. I'm about to drag you. Bruh, you ain't about to do nothing but sit on your page and say a bunch of stuff that you think is just everybody is supporting. Like, oh my God, they dragging them. It's like, bro, I can clearly see you ain't got it like that. I can clearly see that you're not in a successful nothing. A successful household, a successful relationship, a successful career. You have a successful self-esteem. You successfully know your worth. I can clearly see you lack these things. So when someone presents themselves in a manner where they showcase that they have a certain level of respect for themselves, they can have a conversation. You know, they can sit up in a chair and speak without saying, what is the most faddish or ratchetest thing I could say? I got to respect that. I got to respect a man that can sit with a woman, and instead of saying, let me point the finger, this conversation is about providing solutions. And a lot of these men don't provide solutions. They provide a narrative that don't bring people together. A lot of these women, they don't provide solutions. They provide a narrative that don't bring people together. And they swear to God that they living their best life. You know what? That's so funny, because I looked at someone who's saying, basically just calling Kevin Samuels all types of names or whatever case may be. And again, looking in the comment section, sometimes I don't even say anything. I just kind of read the comments just to see how real it is. And I read some comments, and one of the comments just kind of resonated with me when they were saying that, why would I respect a man that's been divorced and doesn't have a current girlfriend? Well, here's the thing. This is what's so funny, right? Because I don't promote the woman that I love online doesn't mean I don't have a woman. Because I don't tell you I'm dating a woman, or whoever I'm dating doesn't mean I don't have someone. So here's what's funny about it. People seem to think that because they want the information, that you just need to provide it when they say so. That your real life needs to be tuckled in with what you're saying online. And for some people, they're not like that. Some people they'll go live and they'll be smoking and drinking and cursing people out with their little kids running in the background saying, Mommy, we hungry. Dad, we hungry. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Mom, you still gonna take us to get ice cream? Shut the hell up. You don't see me doing a video dragging someone, doxing someone, talking about somebody else's household? You don't see me doing that? I guess my issue is that I feel like we're trying to gain the respect of people that don't respect themselves. We're trying to build upon people who don't know their worth, that don't have any value to actually go home to. When you talk to someone that has value, you talk to someone that has a level of restraint, they have emotional control, they have something in real life. They don't carry themselves crazy. They don't sit down and root for people to get drugged. They just don't. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I had to be the bearer of bad news. They just don't. They don't. And here's the thing, unless you done made it to the point where you got hundreds and thousands of people following you and subscribe to you, you know, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, wherever it's at, unless you got 100,000, 1 million people, you know what I'm saying, checking for you, I'm going to tell you right now, if you got 1,000 subs, you know what I'm saying, you got 5,000 subs, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna be as ratchet as I can. I'm gonna talk about this woman. I'm gonna talk about this man. I'm gonna talk about these kids. I'm gonna be super disrespectful. I'm gonna be super ratchet. I'm gonna smoke all the weed. I'm gonna drink all the liquor. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna show everybody how ratchet and loud and disrespectful I can be. And your channel is not growing. Whatever you're doing is it's just not growing. Yeah, you're making a couple dollars every month from YouTube or AdSense or whatever case may be. But it's just like, man, at the end of the day, exhausted. Because you done spent your whole day online trying to be the best. At what? You can't take it nowhere. You can't take your message mainstream. And that's the problem. That's the problem. You can't take your message nowhere. There are big YouTubers that can't take their message nowhere but YouTube. And I'm being gracious when I say that, right? Because let's just say YouTube was this. Let's say YouTube was this, right? They can't take their message but to here. Right? Maybe 5% of YouTube. Out of 100 though? Out of 100? Just saying. People are tuning in to see you act a fool. People are tuning in to see you disrespect people. People are tuning in to see you degrade yourself. Curse people out, disrespect people, overtalk people. People are tuning in to watch a man, to watch a woman that's not building anything, that's not supporting anything. So whether you're someone's husband, somebody's wife, somebody's son, somebody's daughter, somebody's lover, somebody's friend, somebody's family member, it's like, bro, are they proud of that? Are they rooting for that? I really don't. I'm going to be honest with you, man. Some people say all money ain't good money, right? But I would say all reasons ain't good reasons. People are losing themselves trying to be stars, trying to be important. And what happens is, you know, if you're going to do something drastic, just like the gorilla head girl or whatever case may be, right? Remember her? When you do something drastic, it's almost like you got to continue to do drastic stuff so that way you can continue to be relevant. You know, and I feel sorry for those people that has to continue that facade and keep that energy up because it's draining. It's tiresome. You know what I mean? And this is why a lot of, I'm gonna say black people. This is why a lot of black people, they fool themselves because we do stuff, right? We do stuff, and when we're asked simple questions, it's silence. It's silence. Case in point, I seen somebody sent me a video and I was checking it out. It was two women. One was a worker in Waffle House and the other one was with her friends that walked in a Waffle House, of course, late night type thing. And of course there was a gentleman, I wouldn't even call him a gentleman, but there was a guy recording the whole thing or whatever. I don't know if he was with the people or if he was in the thing, but of course he was edging it on and giving commentary or whatever, like a knucklehead. But the girl was screaming, the customer was screaming at the one of the cooks, and as she was talking to her, she started throwing stuff at the cook. Like, you know, whatever she had in front of her, she just was throwing stuff at the cook. And of course, loud, you know what I'm saying, doing all types of stuff or whatever case may be, right? So as she's throwing stuff, her friends are laughing and looking at the situation. Nobody's breaking it up. Nobody's saying, hey, chill, et cetera, et cetera. Nobody's trying to stop it. So, of course, the cook is like this. You know, the manager, she came around trying to, you know, stop the girl or whatever. But they did this and was standing around joking and talking about, you know, I'm from whatever ward she said she was from or whatever. So I guess the police just happened to be patrolling. You know, not the security, but police. So the police, because of course, you know, Waffle House has those open windows. I guess they saw the commotion and, you know, they stopped. Police comes in. Crazy. Police comes in. And of course, the manager breaks down, you know, what happened or whatever. So when they talk to the girl that was doing all the throwing or whatever case may be, right? The girl says, well, she wouldn't remake my bacon. My bacon was burnt. Let it breathe. She wouldn't remake your bacon, so you were throwing salt and pepper shakers at her, butter knives and forks. Knocked everything off the counter. You'll burn this shit down. And that makes sense. And sadly, that is a lot of people in the black community. They believe that type of behavior means you real. That means you real. That means you a boss. That means you run shit. Bruh, that's crazy. That's crazy. And that's the way people act online every day. And there's people that rally for them. There's people that cheer for them. There's people that applaud for them. There's people that say, that's how you do it right there. For all the people that say they have an issue with people trying to bring people together, have the tough conversation, work with men and women, despite what color they are, despite where they're from or whatever. For all of the people that say, well, we just don't like it. It's your right not to like it. It's your opinion to have not to like it. And no one can take that away from you. I would say that, honestly, my opinion, be a little bit more quieter. Because the louder you speak, the more you expose yourself. The more jealousy you expose, the more hatred you expose. I don't want to hear about somebody took my talking points. I don't want to hear about somebody being gay. Somebody used to be a cheerleader. Because all of that really means nothing when it comes to the message. Because here's the thing. I can say something some way, right? And another person can take hear what I'm saying and go and say it way better another way. And a lot more people can make that, a lot more people would resonate with how they said it. Should I get mad because they said it better? Well, y'all, hey, I just want to say I said that first. So what? So what? They took that from me. Words, the English language? They took the English language from you? Unless you sat down and you've copyrighted a saying, I'm flabbergasted. Unless I go copyright that, guess what? It's free reign. It's free reign unless you copyright it, unless you take the time to say, these are my sayings. If you don't, you were too lazy. Period. You were too lazy. Sorry. If you've been doing the same thing for years and you're noticing that your subscriber count is dropping, you're noticing that people are saying, you know what, this ain't really for me. I can't listen to your content in front of my wife. I can't listen to your content in front of my husband. I can't listen to your content in front of my kids. I can't get caught dead sharing your content on my social media page because that will tie into my business. And I don't want anybody to think that I'm affiliated with you. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what you need to be thinking. Is your message worth it? Is your message worth people losing customers? There's a lot of messages out there that's full of hatred. There's a lot of message out there that's full of gossip and drama. And you got to think about it. Somebody might say, I'm living my best life. I'm successful. I'm doing the things that I need to do. Can I add your message to the mix? Or will it throw people off? Like, well, how can you be successful listening to that? Because if you believe all white people are bad, or all black women are bad, or all black men are bad, I don't want you around me. I'm good. I'm good. If you think this is a positive way to spend your time and listen to, I'm good on you. I'm straight. Can you imagine hopping in a car with someone that's listening to some craziness and like, just say you on a first date? What do you mean you don't like black women but I'm black? What do you mean you don't like black men? What do you mean? Can you imagine though? Like you forgot. Look, you forgot it was even playing in a car. You on your first date. You go pick her up, you go pick him up, however y'all get down. Right? They sit in, you cut the radio on or whatever case may be, or you turn on the car, your phone normally automatically hooks to your car, it comes through the speakers, those that have cars like that. And you driving, y'all Google Island, you know what I'm saying, you feeling good, you on your way to the beach, or you on your way to the mall, or however y'all going on y'all first date, right? Yeah, and F all these black women. F all these black men. F all the white people. Can your message be taken mainstream? Do people who have common sense, do people who value themselves, who value their friendships, who value their family members, people that are really successful in real life, do they value your message? Are hundreds of people tuning in, thousands of people tuning in, millions of people tuning in to listen to how you're bringing people together or tearing people apart? Some people are holding on by a thin thread in regards to their platforms. I'm telling you. A lot of that negativity, believe it or not, I'm telling you, a lot of things are about to get phased out. Watch. Just like people believe this whole Kevin Samuels phenomenon came out of nowhere, or he used to sell perfume, and he used to this, he used to that. My whole thing, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I could have been a zookeeper last week. All right, but I could be a millionaire today. I could have been an alcoholic, a drug dealer last week. I could have been homeless last week, right? But I could be a millionaire today. You sitting around trying to remind everyone of how I used to be only showcases that you haven't leveled up yet. Because you're not saying we're millionaires, we both drive Lamborghinis. You're not saying that. You're saying, look at what they got that's more than me. Look at how they talk. But I can't talk like that. Look at how they carry themselves, but I can't carry myself like that. I hate them so much that I got to tell everybody else about them. The narrative that you promote shows jealousy. The narrative that you promote shows hatred. The narrative that you promote shows laziness. I can't do what they do. I don't have that work ethic. I don't know how to make my message mainstream. I don't know how to talk to people. I don't know how to communicate. I don't know how to bring people together. I only know how to act a fool and tear people down. I only know how to disrespect people. And because that's what you know how to do, that's what you've been doing. It doesn't take long to sit down and listen to someone and to get a feeling of where they're coming from. Some people, hatred and disrespect and jealousy is deeply rooted. It's deeply rooted. But when you have a conversation, it's just like, man, let's put the gloves down. Let's put the knives down. Put the weapons down. Everything that we bring to a fight to make sure let's sit this over here. Let's just have a conversation, bro. You want some coffee? Cool. Let's get some coffee. Some of y'all have been fighting for so long that you feel like everything's a fight. Everybody's against you. Anybody that has a message that resonates with people, you got to destroy it. You got to start doing things to slander their name. You got to start doing things to talk about their sexuality. Oh, I got to look at your high school photos. Bruh. How many of y'all was popular in high school? How many of y'all were the same way in high school? If you tell me you were the same way in high school, I can tell you, you have not evolved. You have not reinvented yourself. Your thought process should be on a way bigger wavelength. Your maturity level should be on a way bigger wavelength. That's why it's crazy when someone says, oh, he think he all that because he wear a suit. Oh my God. Really? Bro, if you don't want to wear a suit, you ain't got to wear a suit. have people be like, I used to wear suits. Maybe I should start wearing suits, bruh. Be you. If you want to wear t-shirts all day, salute to you. I'm just saying. I mean, okay. You know, I mean, it's just like you're comparing yourself, and it's so fun. And maybe that's good, especially for men. Maybe that's good that you have somebody that you can kind of check off. You know what I'm saying? Well, I now compare myself to Kevin Samuels because he made it in my book. You know, that's what high value is. So now I need to check myself up. Because here's the thing, as long as you keep on saying, well, he thinks he all that in suits, fellas, let me tell you something. This from alpha to alpha. Well, I mean, beta, alpha to beta, whatever you want to say, right? Because some of y'all ain't alphas. But here's the thing. Rule number 1, never get around women and tell women how much you dislike a man. Never point out things about another man. Because when you point out things about another man, that woman that's with you, they're secretly now, subconsciously as well, saying, well, I like his suit. I like the way he carries himself. I like the way he speaks. So while you trying to say, well, I wear t-shirts, real men ain't got to wear no suits, your girl is looking at that man like, well, maybe you should start wearing suits. Maybe you should carry yourself like that. Why you got to curse so much? Why you always talking about other men? It's not attractive, fellas. It's not alpha male. I don't care who you are, how big, how tall, how wide, how much money you think you got, how many subscribers you got. It is not cool. I'm telling you right now. A grown man sitting around talking about, oh, he gay. Oh, he used to be a cheerleader. Oh, he took my talking points. Oh, this, oh, that. Women of value, women of worth, they are looking at you and saying, that's not what men do. That's not what men do. Take it for what it's worth.
You ain't gotta like me, I like myself. You ain't gotta love me, I love myself. You ain't gotta fight for me, I'ma fight for myself. Walked 100 miles in these shoes, you should've seen how I felt. Oh, yeah. You ain't gotta like me, I like myself. You ain't gotta love me, I love myself. You ain't gotta fight